Peace, this is Anton The BUM, aka the Benevolent Universal Magician, and this video is going to be about the revolution that needs to happen. It's good timing because yesterday was when the Trump supporters stormed the Capitol building and tried their own little insurrection, and I was going to make the video anyway, but what better time than now? So let's jump right into that. First of all, they have a right to be angry with the direction things are headed. They're just completely misguided as to the answer to that. So they seem to think that Trump is a benevolent force and that if he stayed in office, he would protect democracy and save us from what's going on. What they fail to understand is the role that he played in this whole COVID agenda, whether knowingly or not. He was a key piece in making it all happen. So let's start with that. The role that he played, the reason that the powers that be allowed him to become president was because they needed to desensitize us to the point where we would go along with all of this. And Trump was the perfect vehicle for that. So he was so outlandish and caused so much chaos and ridiculousness that after 3 years of that, we were so drained from it that we couldn't muster up surprise at anything, and nothing seemed like a big deal anymore. And that's how they were able to slip this whole COVID agenda into the works and actually get us to go along with these lockdowns and all of that. It never would have been possible without that desensitization that was enabled by Trump. So understand that if you're a Trump supporter and you think that you're fighting for a revolutionary cause by fighting for him to stay in office, that's not the case. And the only reason they're done with him now is because he won't continue to go along with the lockdowns and eradicate all business. And they want to continue to do that, and particularly to shut down all small businesses so that we end up completely financially dependent and are all either working for a major corporation or waiting for checks from them. So now Biden's the man because he's going to do that. He'll put the mandates and ensure that we completely obliterate all financial independence of the citizenship. So that's the only reason Biden is in there now. And just know that they're both working for the same people. So anybody who thinks it's revolutionary to fight for either one of these sides, either side of the aisle, you're completely off the mark. The revolution that needs to happen is a revolution in consciousness and spirituality. Not a drop of blood needs to or should be spilt in this revolution. Because what happened yesterday and things of that nature are actually feeding right into the plan. It just allows them to further constrict the laws, take more of our freedom, and it just allows them to continue with the stranglehold that they're already doing. Our power lies in our consciousness and our connection to the non-material world. Once we understand the nature of our power, the power that we're born with, that we've been guided away from since the second we're born, then they actually can't win at all. They have no wins against us, I swear to you. But we need to raise our consciousness, raise our frequency, and we need to come together, stop being polarized. Stop letting them divide us among political parties, race, religion, all of that. That's all purposeful. It's all a divide and conquer strategy, and it's been working like a charm. And we got to get out of that mode of thinking. I've fallen into it many times. I'm not trying to act special, like I'm above it. I certainly have fallen for it over the years. But it's time for us all to break free from it. This is an age of enlightenment. It's a new time. There's planetary alignments happening that are ushering in an age of consciousness and a great awakening. And they know that. They're very in tune with astrology and all that stuff. They know what's going on. And that is why they are purposely trying to suspend it, slow it down through fear, because they know that it's inevitable. They can't stop it. They can't stop this great awakening and this elevation in consciousness, but they've slowed it down so much they've got us crawling towards it, and that will allow them to cling to power for a longer amount of time, and we can't go for that. It's time now to make a change, as everything is eroding. All of the paradigms and all of the structures that we were taught are the truth, and they all are turning out to be bullshit and being exposed for what they are. The only way that we won't see that is if we allow them to blind us and keep us pointed in another direction as these truths are getting uncovered. And we have to keep our focus on what's going on and not fall for it. So stop watching TV altogether if you can, because it's programming for a reason. That's why they call it programming. It's completely used to manipulate us, make us think whatever they want us to think, and polarize us. Especially the news. You keep that on a loop, it's going to keep you so much in fear that you will not be able to think for yourself or see seemingly obvious things that are going on that should be apparent to everybody. Also, the fear lowers your immune system more than anything. So in a time of a pandemic where they're saying everyone is immunocompromised, you would think they would know better than to pump everybody with fear and make their immune systems way worse. But of course they know better. They just want that to happen. So that's why they've never told you to take your health into your own hands and to eat better or to do anything that actually boosts your immune system. They tell you to wear a mask, which causes you to breathe in your own carbon dioxide, which is terrible for you. So all of their solutions are based on things that compromise your health, or isolate you so that we can't form together. Coming together is a crime now. Even on holidays with your family, they try to shame you into seeing your own family. It's all very manipulative. They want us to be isolated, they want us to feel alone, and they want us in fear. And that's the only way that they can stop us from reaching this new level of consciousness, which will allow us to take our power back. Because the power is ours. And I've said this a million times, and I'm going to keep saying it until people understand it. Their only power is our agreement to their power. It's a handful of people controlling billions of people. What can they do if we just stop going for it? If we just say, no, get the fuck out of here? What can they do? Nothing. Understand your power. Understand our power. Because they do. They're actually the ones who are scared right now. They do not feel confident about this. That's why they're doing this. This is a desperation move. This is oh shit, they're waking up. What do we do? How do we put a stranglehold on everything and cling to power for a while longer? Because we don't want them to see what we've been doing for centuries. That's what this is. They're the ones who are scared. They want you to think you should be scared, because that's the only way that they can continue to pull the wool over your eyes. So please acknowledge everything for what it is. Stop looking at your fellow citizen as the enemy, and start understanding that we all have a common enemy. It's time for us to come together and abandon all of that other shit that they've used to separate us. That's their doing. That's not our doing. We've just gone along with it to the point where we subscribe to it heavily now, and it's hard to break free from. Like I said, I was in the same camp. I no longer will go along with any of it. And so one of the most important things to elevating the consciousness is a change in dietary habit. I have a video on decalcifying the pineal gland, or the third eye, and opening it up, which is the portal to the non-material world, which is very important for your intuition, and to go within and be able to really get universal answers from within yourself, as opposed to always fishing for outside information, especially from Google, who is completely co-opted. It was developed by people that were funded by DARPA, which is the Pentagon, and it has been a tool of theirs since then. And they own YouTube, and obviously Facebook is complicit, and all of the social media And so you got to know what you're dealing with. All the information outlets that we go to are completely controlled and manipulated. If you need to use a search engine, use DuckDuckGo, because uh, they have not yet been taken over, and you will actually get the search results you're looking for as opposed to just what they want you to see. Google, it's over. Don't try to think you're going to get anything, especially if you're looking into this type of stuff that I'm talking about. Don't think you're going to get any of that information on Google. They purposely will steer you away from it, or to a fact check that will tell you that it's not true. So they're the ones who are the fact checkers. Just know that. Um, and do your own knowledge. Do your own knowledge, do your own research, and go within. Go within and get in tune with yourself and your inner knowing. Because anything I tell you is you shouldn't take that either. Like, figure it out for yourself. I'm just here to try to guide you in a direction that I know to be the truth. But don't take anybody's words 100%. Do the knowledge for yourself, and that includes anything I tell you. Don't just take it as gospel. You know what I mean? It's time for us to wake up. It's time. Let's stop being their victims. Let's stop allowing ourselves to be manipulated and controlled. This is, as I said, a revolution of consciousness. So it's a very low energy to think that physical force is the answer. It certainly isn't. It plays right into their agenda, as I said. And we got to think beyond that. And our power lies in our consciousness and opening up these channels to a higher power, to spiritual realm, and what is beyond this material world that we are taught is everything. This is not everything. So much beyond it, I swear to you. So get in tune with that. Take care of yourself. Do whatever it is that you know inherently that you need to work on to improve yourself. And let's come together. Those of us who are at a certain level of consciousness, we need to help the others along and be patient with them. And don't be judgmental, and don't try to make them feel like they're stupid for not knowing. And remember when you didn't know either. That's the best thing to do for humility. Remember when you were in a position where you were completely buying into all this shit as well. It's hard to break free from. So give people a chance and be patient with them. Thank you. Peace and love.